The land debate continues to rage on. The Khoisan community is insisting it should be prioritized when government starts expropriating land without compensation. Khoisan Mass Movement chairperson Joseph Marble, his deputy Glenn Benneth, and the movement's Secretary General Ruben Hedman are here in studio with me to discuss problems facing the community and the demands for housing issues as well. Good morning to you, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us here on Afro Worldview.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Just let's start maybe by talking about issues around the Khoisan cultures and traditions, why it isn't as preserved as you would maybe like it to be, and why it hasn't been continued down from generation to generation like you would like it to be.
The reason it was took away from us to marginalize us.
Okay.
That we must not, that our children must not learn our languages. And you know, it's so confusing as adults now, because we are adults, we are still also learning, because now the government, at the present movement, they put the Nama language back into our schools right now, from grade R up to matric.
Okay. Ruben, let's come to you and maybe get your view as to why preservation of the culture and traditions hasn't been upheld.
I shall start. Can I start with a bit of history first?
Sure, go for it.
1915, not 1915, 1510. The first white man landed here in the Cape, in Mossel Bay. His name was Vasco da Gama. That guy fought with my people for the fight started because of cows. He wanted meat because they were coming from Portugal, doing deals in Portugal. So they come through here, pass through the Cape. They saw herdsmen there, Khoi herdsmen, with children and cows. So he told his soldiers to go down, to go and take the cows because they want to eat. But the Khoi people said, no, dog. We are most human. You are most supposed to come and ask, not take. It doesn't belong to you. Then he commanded his troops to go and kill the children when he did not succeeded getting the cows. But the wisdom of God, and this is going to be the word I'm going to use all through this time, because God, He's the guy. Everything belongs to Him. You see? So the fight was, at the end of the day, 54 of his soldiers were killed.
Okay.
And from there, the rest came, where it ended up with the Jan van Riebeeck, where now the land claims now is closed. It will be opened from the year 1930.
That is the year 1913.
Closed 1913.
Okay.
That is the year when Jan van Riebeeck, for lack of a better word, because they didn't get it legally, for lack of a better word, they legally took the land from us after a 10-year war. There were a 10-year war before they could take the land from us. They came with guns. At the end of the day, they had to go and make what we know is a cannon in Afrikaans. That thing, with that round thingy ball to poof.
A cannon, yes.
Yes, that. They went to design that. That is the time when they came and they win the war. But before, for let's say the first 7 years of that war, no, they didn't stand a chance, you see. So, to come to the question, our language, our culture, everything about us, the Khoi, because this is the question I would like to ask, especially heads of state, you also, the whole world, every sort of kind of person you get, tribe, nationality, what you get on earth, they practice their original language, their original culture, their original everything. The whole world through, even here, us in South Africa. The Zulu practice Zulu, the Xhosa, except for us. because me, I'm known as a colored, which is, there is no such thing.
Let's expand on that statement. You're saying that there's no such thing
Yes.
as colored people.
Yes.
What would you classify colored people then as, Khoisan?
Yes, that is what we are.
Okay.
Khoi. And I think the exact term actually is, for the San is the tung. Yeah, that is the real in my language, the tung. You see, when the white people came, they destroyed everything. Everything that was built, that was owned, that was ours. They took it from us. I can tell you stories, but some will say that is hearsay. But it's stories that were told to me by women who are very, very old, like 100 years and upwards, 98 years and upwards. What they experienced. Like, for instance, one story. There was a time when they took a baby. The baby was just born now. The baby was, say, 3 weeks old. They took the baby. The British, the Europeans, they had a game they played with sheep where they make circles and they throw the sheep in that circle, whereby the black sheep is viewed. The black sheep scores the most points. So they took the baby by the ankles, right on the horse, and slammed that baby to the
Next to a tree.
to the tree stem.
There's a tree.
You know, humans, this top head of yours, it comes off.
Yeah.
Yes, so that is what they did. They robbed us of everything that is mine, everything that is originally me, you see. Because then when they did that, they conquered us, they somehow stole the title of Native African. I'm that. I'm that guy. Because when they came here, they found me here. And we go now back to Ghana, the year 1509, 1508, 1510, when they came here. When they came here, they found not one black man, but the Khoi people.
Glenn, I think let's bring you into this discussion. Let's talk about why you feel that the Khoisan culture and tradition hasn't been given the recognition that it deserves and the preservation that it deserves today. Where are we going wrong? What needs to be changed?
They need to change our names. I don't feel like happy with a name like Glenn. I want to give myself my own name, which related to Khoisan, to the Nama people or the Khoisan. I'm actually a Griqua in the tribe. I'm a Griqua. And I think they did this to call us coloreds, to marginalize us, to overthrow us, so that we can't like point our land, this is our land, or whatever.
Yes.
That's why when you haven't got land and you haven't got the culture, you can't be counted.
You are nothing.
You are nothing like these people. Like, they sold us already. The South Africans are already sold to the New World Order. And there's lots of people that don't know about it, because they keep everything away from us. We don't know our language.
But then whose responsibility is it then to ensure that the cultures and the traditions are passed on from generation to generation? We're at this point now where a lot of people aren't exposed to these sort of...
To our languages.
Yes.
Right
so
now,
whose responsibility
right
is that?
now, there's some older generations that are still out there that are teaching now our children, as I told you before, in the schools now. The government, the ANC government, did make its duty, because if we did not fight for them to get back our languages, because we fight with them and they did agree that they will bring back.
Talk us through the discussions that you have had with government officials. What was those discussions? Were there conclusions made? Was there direction found in bettering the situation? What's been happening in that regard?
You know what? We went to the union buildings on the 17th of December, yes, yeah. And we are really battling because the 13th of the 12th month, you see, yes, yeah.
Okay.
I was the one that did lead that march to the union buildings. I and Chief Bennett were in charge of the Gauteng branch. And in Khoisan SA was one that did lead the Eastern Cape. Up until now, the government did not yet come back to us.
And there's been no response?
No response.
Nothing?
Nothing at all. We went a couple of times. They are actually ignoring us, and that makes us very angry. What we have thought of that is as what we want this land. We're so sick and tired. We actually, because our forefathers did failed. As the younger generations, because our youngsters want to fight, really, because remember that we are ex-military veterans out there that wants to take up arms. And we have told them, listen, let's wait, let's give this government of us another chance. But I want to warn the ANC government, time is running out. We are sick and tired. We are sick and tired of your kings. Because you have delayed in the past, we were not white enough. In this new democracy of South Africa, we are not black enough. We say thank you. We are really the first indigenous nations of this land, and we are the real custodians of Southern Africa. We are sick and tired.
And as the indigenous people of the land and the real custodians, besides obviously preservation of culture and traditions, what are the other issues that you guys are facing? You spoke of land issues.
Yes. The other issues is about also housing. Because you can go everywhere in South Africa. The most people that are marginalized is us, the Khoisan people. We are not getting houses. We are not getting jobs. And even look also at the government structures. I'm talking about health. How many Khoisan people are working in the health departments? If you look at safety, how many you can count on your hands? How many people are working in the police forces? A few. How many people are working? You know, there's enough government structures where you can go to. There's about only a few Khoisan people that are working in the government departments. This government of South Africa did fail us.
Ruben, let me come to you and just ask you once again, as Joseph has now mentioned, there's been countless times when you guys have reached out to government and tried to discuss and find ways forward. But if you could speak directly to government now, what would it be that you would say?
It is time for you to open your eyes. It's time for you now to realize that this thing is getting serious. And through the grace of God, we go through the world history. Us here in Africa, of let me say South Africa, never had a civil war, but the rest of the world did. Now, as you heard what my Chief Bennett said, this government of ours, Chief Bennett said, this government of ours already sold our country to the highest bidder. And the highest bidder is the people who are the Illuminati. We all know that. Because I can tell you something, and other people are going to say that this is hearsay. But did you know that South Africa is a PTY to a security company in America? Did you know that? So there's a lot that people don't know, that the government is hiding. Because why? Now, if you can see what the government is doing, they are actually trying to make civil war. Because why?
But you do understand, Ruben, that it is only fair for people to have different views to you, different opinions to you, and not necessarily agree on the statements that you are making.
Yes.
You know?
I told you that from when we started.
Sure.
There are going to be people that are going to say that I'm talking through my neck. But it's the truth, you see. And you know what is the bad thing about government? Nah. The government that we have now is black. And we are most now supposed to be all black here in South Africa. but there's division still. 1994, Mandela and de Klerk, they scrapped that word colored. They said there is no, they even knew that word must be scrapped. But still, the government of today still stick with that. Why?
But if the word colored was to be scrapped today, how then would you classify, people who initially classified themselves as colored? Because we would all have to go back,
No. To answer your question,
figure out
yes.
how
The
he's
trouble here is with, when Mandela was freed, there was the reconciliation part of the whole thing.
Yes.
Only black people went through that. But if you want to fix something, you must start at the core of that problem.
Yes.
And me, I'm the core of that problem. As we said from the beginning, when the white people came here, I was the first they found in Ghana, not in South Africa. I was the first they found in Ghana. So
region.
Yes, I'm the core of this country, South Africa. So there must first be a reconciliation done with me for South Africa to come to a point where we can see, okay, right, this is this and this is what, and what is for who. But for as long as when I am excluded, especially from this land thing, because why? The president said he's going to give land, then the question was asked, he's going to take from who and give to who?
Yeah.
But here I am. It's my land. They don't even talk to me. They don't even come to me. They don't even invite me for tea, for nothing. But they throw things around here on the television, on the radio, and say things that the government knows the truth of what really is.
What is the plan of action now? Glenn, how do you move forward?
We don't want war here in our land, because we never promoted law. We were always the people who invited all other nations to live with us. And as today, we're not going to put out anybody from our land, but they must give us what we want. And we want what is ours. And they keep it away from us, and they keep, before they took property of this country, they said we will all live in a same level. But today, the Khoisan don't stand with PE. All those things, we are not actually included in those things. PE and all those things, they are our children. They are living on drugs. And living on drugs, they have to take something out of the house. They vandalize our houses, and that is how our kids grow up. They keep everything away from our lighties. Our guys are the guys who, like in sports, you take a Khoisan lighty, he sees something, he don't have to teach him that thing. He knows that
it's built in already.
It's built in him.
Yes.
Like soccer. I'm a soccer coach. I can't tell my lighty where I'm going to take you. He asked me, Coach, we're only going to play here in the township. Where are we going to? We had a World Cup. Why didn't they use our kids also to be mascots? Why did they only use the black lighties? Our lighties don't have that facility to say, the adrenaline must catch me when I take Messi into the ground. Nobody. Our lighties never.
Opportunities aren't there.
No opportunities.
Yes. Joseph, if people, how do people join the movement? How do people get involved in assisting and helping advance these goals?
Everyone that believes is a Khoisan can join. Remember 1993, when de Klerk was president, he did abolish risk classifications. He did abolish it. We as ANC, I'm talking about because I am an ANC, I'm an activist. I'm not a politician, I'm an activist. The ANC then went and picked it up in 1995. they were the ones that did introduce this thing about race classifications, about the color thing. We are not colors. We are Khoisan. And we are, as my deputy president said here, that we are the first nation. And we are not colors. And everyone that believes, as I said, that believes is a Khoisan can join us.
Okay, sure.
Everyone.
Ruben?
Can I maybe clarify that color thing?
Sure.
Because I'm now going back to the old times of the white man. My language, especially the Twi language, that short bushman, with the short, the hunter, not the killer, he's a hunter, that guy, his language. For me to speak that language, I must have, especially my front teeth, both top and bottom, must be in my mouth.
Okay.
To pronounce certain words, of all the words, basically. You see? Then the white man came. They didn't understand. Man, these people, they describe our language as like we are like a kalkun. You know our kalkun makes. Yeah, when we speak like that, white people. So for them to dismantle us from our language, they had, and I take you now to the Cape Town. If you go to Cape Town, it's now a tradition in Cape Town that they take out their front teeth by themselves now. But that happened because why? At that time, the white men kicked out our teeth out of our mouths, our forefathers. They kicked their teeth out of their mouths for this language of us to die. Hence, we are struggling today. With government knowing this, and I'm going to tell you something, sister. You know, I'm going to tell you now two things. You know, there is not one white man on this earth that founded any major religion from God. I have proof of that. There is not one white man on this earth that founded any major religion on this earth. It's people with brown eyes. Look, white people have colored eyes. Black, blue, green. I have brown eyes who are black. If you go back into history, go back in Bible history, not mankind, go in the Bible's history, then you will see what I'm talking about. You will get the proof that I'm now saying. The second thing is, racism is not taught at home, but it's a learned response. You learn to be a racist.
Yes.
You see that? Now, they came here by order 1510, 1508, 1508, 1509, by order of the Pope, Alexander V. Wherever in the world you go and you found people that are not white, destroy. I'm sitting now with that mess.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for the education. Thank you very much for enlightening. And I hope that we learn to better preserve and grow the cultures and the traditions. And I hope that you reach the goals
Can I
and
say
ambitions.
something, please?
Sure.
You must remember one thing. The Khoisan did win the first battle in 1510
Yes.
with Francisco's the Alpha family. We did win the first war.
Yeah, Francisco de Almeida.
We did win the first war. So we are not scared to make war.
Yes.
We were not afraid.
We never want to encourage violence.
Yes.
We never want to encourage
Yes.
violence. But gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this morning
Pleasure.
and educating us here on Afro Worldview. That was Ruben Rostov, Hedman, Glenn Bennett and Joseph Marble from the Khoisan Mass Movement joining us here on Afro Worldview, just talking us through some of the challenges the Khoisan are still experiencing in South Africa today and possible ways of moving forward in that regard. We are going to take a quick break here on Afro Worldview. More news and updates on the other side. Do stay with us.